And I hope that this, what we're going to do, you are all going to find it very, very important, very valuable. And when I was bringing this up, that we're going to have something like this, I was telling you guys that if there is one thing that has greatly changed my life, it is always intentionally preparing for my year before I enter that year. And I've always, since 2015 or so, I have learned to always prepare for the next year. I start preparing for the next year from October, November, and December, and so on. And when I talk about preparation, the most important thing that I get to prepare for the year is preparing my mental capacity, preparing how I look at the year, preparing the momentum for the year, preparing the belief system for the year, preparing the goals, the plans, the deadlines, the projects for the year. That is what makes a year incredible. Nothing is really gonna change. It's just the dates are gonna change. You're gonna have the same 24 hours. You're gonna have the same Mondays. You're gonna have the same name of the month and all of that. But change will only be significant if the person entering the new year has experienced some change. How we are there. So that is why it is very important to do that. And every year I always have a personal theme for my year, a personal theme for my year. And it's always based on a lot of analysis and everything that, like what I'm going to teach you today, are the personal things that I'm also going to be practicing for next year. And I was telling some of you, there is nothing like a bad year or a good year. Like, oh yeah, you get a year, many Cameroonians say, oh, this year will be my year, not this year will be bad for my side and all of that. Let me tell you, there is no year that you will not get bad, difficult situations. There's no year you will not get bad news. There's no year people are not going to die in your family. I'm not saying they're going to die. There's no year that you're not going to have challenges. There's no year that you're not going to um, experience some days that you're going to lack money. There's no year like that. There's also no year that you're going to have good news. Beautiful things are going to happen. But whatever happens will greatly depends on you, your personality, and the kind of things that you do. And you know the kind of things that happens in your life every year will only happen based on the things that you do, the kind of lifestyle that you live that culminates together and creates a breakthrough for you, culminates together and brings good news to you. Like, for example, many of you that started living life the right way this year, or maybe you have been living life the right way, or maybe you joined PPA community and you have started taking actions in the right direction. There are some very beautiful things that will happen to you next year. There's no doubt about it. And that's one good thing about learning how to prepare for your year. When I started preparing for my years the right way, I started experience like sometimes last year I said, oh, you know what, last year was the best year in my life. But I'm not saying that, you know what, 2021 was the most incredible year in my life. Sometimes like in 2020, I was saying that 2019 was the best year. The one thing that is also happening is that living life the right way, taking the right actions, having the right mentality, I'm doing the right things for my career and business and all of that. It culminates from the previous year and the chain reaction starts happening in the new year. You get a point? Like, for example, there are things that I did this year that I already have a couple of international trips geared for next year based on the things I did this year. I already have a couple of clients lined up for next year based on the things I did for this year. You get a point? So that is how it happens. And I want to challenge you, even if after this you are not part of my community, we are not together, I want to challenge you. If there's one thing you should never forget doing, always make sure that before you enter the next year, make sure that you have prepared for it. In terms of let your mind be so deeply conscious. Like if you notice, there are some things that I've been trying to write out in the group. You notice I keep saying maybe September 2022 and all of that. Yes, those are mistakes, but it is also where my heart has been. That's where my mind has been. That's where my spirit has already seen my year right up to December 2022 already. I have prepared for it. I have done my part, right? And if you remember the, the, the program that we had, morning school program we had going through the book, the thinking, creative process and thinking process and all of that, we spoke about your ecosystem and God's own ecosystem. And there's one thing we spoke about, which we indicated that God's own ecosystem only has good things to deliver to you. See, I believe, and that's a fact, God doesn't have any bad news in his agenda to give you next year. God's own ecosystem is always good. It has perfect plans. It has just goodness. It has just blessings and all of that. And you need to prepare your own ecosystem to connect to God's own ecosystem before you are able to sink in and collect what belongs to you. Okay? So I want us to take this very serious because it's going to change a lot. And whatever thing that you desire to handle next year, whether your finances, whether your career success, your business success, personally, whatever you're looking for, it is in this preparation that we are going to have today. Okay? And this, like, I stopped doing New Year resolutions since 2015 because that thing doesn't really work. It works on some people, but it doesn't work on majority because many do it before March, you have forgotten. You have gone back to your old self, per se. But if you are able to change some things, engineer some change in your life, on how you live, you start making concrete decisions that this is what you're changing from today in a significant way, you get to see that powerful thing happening. So take it serious. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that life is going to be perfect. No, it's not going to be. But it's going to be incredible when the person living the life is okay. Like I always tell you guys, it is one thing to have a dream, but it is another thing to become the person that can make the dream to happen. Yes, 2022, you have this beautiful dream in your mind, this beautiful thoughts that this is the kind of year you desire to experience. That is very good. But you have to become the person that can make that year incredible, that can make that year significant. And 2022 is one of those most important years in the next decade. The next decade start of 2021, 2030. It's a next decade that I keep saying anybody who is above 20, you are between 20 and 35 or so. If you don't have a plan to dominate in your career and business, after 2030, it may be too late for you to win because the competition will only be massive if you're somebody who studies patterns, you study trends. You're seeing that the year is very competitive. Guys are not sleeping. Innovations are coming out every day. Guys are becoming better. Things are just changing for good. And the more young people enter the marketplace with more intelligent ideas, the more it becomes difficult for people who have been lazy to actually compete and dominate. But if you're already on top of your game early enough, you also join those who are dominating in their various fields. So if you don't start taking the right action, you'll start feeling as if you don't have the capacity to actually win, or you don't have the capacity to actually dominate and become successful in your industry. But I believe everybody has a capacity. But you need to start now. You need to start now and taking the things I'm going to teach you seriously and You're going to experience them. And the good thing is that the things I teach you are the things I do. So it's not like I'm separate from this way and then teaching you something that other way. No, these are the daily things that I do also that we are going to exchange together. And how I do my best to share with you practical personal experiences about it so that we know and learn to practice. And it can also be an encouragement, right? It can also be an encouragement for us to do that. Okay, after that introduction and encouragement, let us proceed. So welcome to your 2022 Greatness Manual. And I always say there's a place for hard work. Put in the hard work because the time of talking is over and the time for action is now. As I said, this is the most important decade that if any young person has to win, you have to master how to take the right actions, right? In 2022, you have to act for yourself. You have to act for your family. You have to take action for your tomorrow because the time for excuses are over. Many people have done or haven't done is communicated a lot of excuses for themselves in the last 1 year or even in the last couple of years of their lives. You have done a lot of excuses. It's time for change to happen. And that change will only happen if you decide to act from today based on what we're going to talk about. Because if you don't act, nothing is really going to change. Nothing is going to be very impactful. I believe that for anybody to win in 2022, to be significant and to dominate, there are a couple of things that you should be doing. There are a couple of things that you should be doing. You cannot just expect to be the same, to be normal, or to set New Year resolutions, and after a few weeks, you go back to your old self and you expect to handle the same results like people who have been doing different things in a better way consistently. Like I was challenging one of my mentees yesterday. I was telling him, imagine that you do this every day for 100 weeks, every day, every week, you're performing like this for 100 weeks. And I was telling him that if you do this, it means that you have the possibility of taking your life 5 to 10 years ahead of the normal. You know that you can influence your life to be 10 years ahead of the normal timeline. Like you can be among your classmates or among your age mates. You are living life 10 years ahead of them. The result you are able to manifest, you are manifesting results 10 years ahead of everybody in your age group. It's possible. That is based a lot more on the kind of things that you do on a daily basis. Though I like this quote that you cannot be in business and expect to handle tangible results by thinking and acting normal, right? So my challenge to you is that for you to win 2022, you have to make sure that you avoid acting and thinking normal because it's not going to help you. Okay, so significance and dominance, key number one. We're going to talk about this. Number one is S and D stand for significance and dominance, key number one. So one thing I strongly believe, and many of these things that I'm talking about, I have analyzed based on various industry trends, industry analysis, industry opportunities, industry challenges that may arise in 2022 and so on, based on many things, okay? So it's not just based on your the personal behavior of human beings. No, I've also looked at the economy, the Cameroon economy, the African economy, the global economy, technology, the various things that are going to influence many things. So it's going to sound somehow, but pay attention to the deep things I'm going to say and the work you have to do from your path for you to actually see that. Okay. So key number one is I want to challenge all of you to be ready for change. A lot of things will change in 2022. From government policies to governance structure to continental policies to global competition and technology, whether you like it or not, a lot of things are going to change that will affect you. Like, for example, if you're somebody who pays attention to global news, there's already an announcement, there's an announcement for the latest, there's a new COVID-19, whatever, and it has led to many countries blocking flights from many African countries. That is a lot of change already happening. That's just one thing that is happening globally, right? And many things are gonna happen. And the only way that you can beat depression and beat being worried and be ahead of your game as a professional is for you to be ready for change. There are people that will not be ready for change, and when change comes, instead of them being proactive, they'll be depressed and worried. And there is no way you can be depressed and worried and you'll be able to dominate or compete with somebody who is proactive, agile, and was ready for change and anticipating that, hey, if anything happens, this is how I am going to win. This is how I'm going, this is my plan B. This is my tactical way I'm going to get out of this. Right? Change can also happen in your job. What if your company closes down? Are you ready for that kind of change? Oh, what if you are promoted to a senior leadership position in your company? Are you ready for change? That's change also. What if your startup has issues and you start making a lot of profit? Or what if you get a contract and you start making 10 million francs a month? That's a change. Right? What if you enter a serious relationship? That's change. Or what if your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks your heart? That's change. You get the whole concept? But the most important fact is, like one time, one of my friends was asking me, do I really have emotions or feelings? So it's because sometimes the way he sees I handle business challenges or business stuff, there's also that it comes to telling me, oh, this is going on in the company. He's telling me his problems and all of that, and he's feeling, but he has never heard me like, complaining on stuff and all of that. One of the best things I've done is that I am very good at anticipating what may or may not happen, and I'm very good at being ready for change, both best case scenario and worst case scenario. There's nothing that you throw at me in business and career that it will take me off my feet. I've not seen it yet. Of course, I'm ready for it. That's the best way to win and be ahead of the game. When change comes, relax, have total faith, and know that the change is all for your good. This is one of the most important things that keeps me balanced in the midst of the biggest chaos. That maybe some of my friends were like, wait, I think Joybert will be shaken in this particular situation. But one thing I always like to come to a conclusion is that, you see, whatever is happening at this particular moment is all for my good. Well, here's my belief. You cannot get out of chaos if you don't have clarity. So when you are not ready for change, when change finally happens, especially negative change, you will lose clarity. That's why many people make very bad decisions when they're angry or when they're emotionally unstable. Because there is no way you can make good decisions when you are unstable emotionally or in your mind. That's why the most important things I make sure I achieve in the midst of challenges or in the midst of change is clarity of mindset, is clear focus, is calmness, is to being relaxed. Because that is the only fastest way that I will leave that particular situation. That is why there are some people that when they get in difficult situations, they can take a year before they get out of it. They can take even 10 years. They can be broke for a long time. They can struggle for a long time. Meanwhile, there are other people that when something goes wrong, give them a week, give them a day, sometimes give them 2 weeks, they are gone. They have made the right decisions, and they are set out. They are set out for a new phase of their life, and they are going forward as if nothing happened. And there's also a sign that if you are not experiencing change and uncertainty in your life, it means you are not taking growth action. This is one of the best ways to measure your life, whether you're agreeing or not. If you're not experiencing change in any area of your life, for example, you're not experiencing change in your finances, you're not experiencing change in how you think, you're not experiencing change in the kind of people you're connecting to, like the whole year you have the same kind of friends around you, something is wrong. You are not experiencing change in how you relate with people, you're not experiencing change in terms of knowledge, you're not experiencing change in terms of opportunities, then you are not taking growth actions. Number two is uncertainty. If you are not experiencing uncertainty, it means you are not taking good action. There should be an action that you're taking and you have a lot of uncertainty. Is it, am I right? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? If you're not always in this kind of position, it means you are not taking growth action. And I want to challenge you, make sure you are doing that. Uncertainty means uncertainty is an advantage and a disadvantage. And many of the time, it is always an advantage. You get a point? Should I not? Should I not? That is uncertainty. And when you take huge growth actions or doing things you have never done before, uncertainty is bound to set in. Nobody gets it perfect when they're doing something for the first time. So I have a question for you. What growth actions will you take in 2022? What growth actions will you take in 2022? Okay? What growth actions will you take in 2022? So I have an exercise for everybody. Write out your top 12 growth actions you will take throughout 2022. Here's what I always do personally. In my 2022, I already have 12 things that I will do every month that I consider them growth actions. These growth actions can be from career to business to personal life and all of that. And before I forget, for those who are in the mentorship, those who are my mentees, you're in the mentorship group. Throughout this morning school for the year, every exercise I give, you have to do it and send to me inbox before the next day. No, not for the next day, throughout December. Okay, before that means you have to do all exercises and submit to me before December ending. This for those who are my mentees and you're in the mentorship WhatsApp group. Okay, so I need you guys to work on this and submit to me before December 31st. And there are many of these that are going to come as activities, so don't pile them. Then for the PPA members, don't pile them. Tomorrow you're going to have another exercise, so start working on them. But like this, you may not do it today. I've done it. I'm telling you that I did not do it in a day. So it's going to take time. Think about your year, and it's going to take you analyzing where you are right now. Where have you been the last 5 years? What are your biggest challenges? What would you like to see happen in your life? You get a point? So do that. But make sure there are 12 of them and they are concrete. They are concrete. As I said, they could be from career to business to personal life. Maybe if you're a man, you can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to pay my potential wife, or I may call it future wife. Yes, potential future wife, bride price. Put them on to tag that to a particular amount. That's a growth action, because any action that moves you from one number from where you are to where you have been, because when you do that action, it moves you from being single to a married man, they say, right? So it should be actions that when you take it, there's a change, there's a shift. Don't write things that when you do, there's no shift. No. Write it that when there's a change, when that action is done, there is a significant shift. You understand? There is a significant shift. It could be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to buy a land. Okay. It means that there's going to be a shift from you're going to be a landowner. That's a shift. Okay. It could be that, you know what, maybe you're gonna resign from your job and be full-time in your business. Okay, you prepare for it and make it happen. Okay, but make sure there are 12, and these 12 means that they are tapped to each month. And for me, I always do is that each month, the deadline for that month is the 30th or the last day of that month. So what is your growth action for January? That action you have to do in January, you put it. February, you put it. March, you put it. 12, you put it. And this way is good for you to use your Google Calendar, or you use your journal. When you do this, you go to your Google Calendar on the 31st, or the last day of each month, and you put it there for the 12 months. Then your calendar will remind you, like my calendar will remind me, okay, when I put it, I say, okay, remind me 5 days ahead, 2 days ahead, so that I'm conscious that there is a goal I have to achieve. Okay, so let me see. Let me show you practically how to. I will recommend that you use Google Calendar to do this, so that it's practical and you don't. I want to show you Google Calendar on how to do that. So let me switch to another account that you will not see my personal information, right? Okay, good. Let me show you Google Calendar that is empty for this other account. So let me show you what to do. Please take this, very important. At least I told you guys Google Calendar. Okay, guys, this will change your life if you do it. This is how to win in life. I have coached some of the most successful guys you know in this country. I mentioned that, wow, and these are things that I work with them and they do it, and it's amazing. Okay, don't just sit and assume that somebody made it in life just like that. Okay, so you can come. We are seeing my screen. You come like this. Take them on. Okay, so this is so when I go to 2022, right? You come here. We come here and you go to the last day. So you come to the last day. This is the last day. Come here. So I always put it at 5 a.m. You see, let's say that my January growth action is to, let's say, I want to guess what, like my January growth, of course, I want to lie. So, right, my January growth action is to, let me say, buy a car, for example, right? I put it like this. I come to between notifications, I come here, I can take okay, 5 days. I can take, remind me. It means that 5 days before the 31st, it's gonna give me a notification, right? It means that it's gonna send me an email, or it's gonna send me, it's gonna ring, right? It's gonna ring, like send me like an alarm per se. It's gonna do that and all of that. Send to me. So you do that and you save. So it's already in the calendar, event save, meaning that somebody's making noise. Violet. Okay, so this is what happened, right? So it means that on this date, on the 31st of January, it's gonna send me a message 5 days ahead, 30 minutes ahead, to remind me that, hey, you have something you have to achieve, which is a growth action before you enter the next month, so that I'm conscious and I'm determined. And that's why I see some people feel as if they always do the right things on the right time, right? Because this is always sorted out and done the right way. You do that. The same thing, you come to, you can come back to your calendar. You go to February, do the same thing, right? You're going to say, come on the 28th, you add it. You do that for all the year. But you have to sit down and write the 12 good actions first. Then you sit down one evening, do this before you enter January. Okay, then you put it throughout your calendar. Even if your phone is missing, your calendar will never be missing. Immediately you get a new phone and you sign in your Gmail, your calendar automatically updates because this is saved outside your phone. It's saved on a Gmail cloud, they say. Okay, so do that. So that is the first good action for be ready. Be ready for change. I challenge you, ready for change. And importantly, while you're ready for change, it is also your responsibility to make sure that you're experiencing growth change. And for you to experience growth change, it is your responsibility to engineer the change you want to see. Okay? God will not come and do things for you. It's not gonna happen. You have to take the actions and do that. So you have to have 12 growth actions for the year. I've given some examples that you can do, right? It could be from maybe you're going to start a business, you're going to start to buy and sell. Maybe you're going to complete your master's degree program, your PhD program, you're going to get married, you're going to do something to increase your income, you're going to travel abroad, whatever that is critical for you to advance and experience growth, you should put it down and discipline yourself to do it. Okay, good. And if you have a community of active people or you have a mentor or a coach, you can do this and send to that mentor, right? Not everybody who is a mentor creates time and do the kind of things that I do like this. So you can, if you have watched the video on how to be a good mentee, you see that I'm encouraging mentees to always be the ones being on the case of their mentors. Create things and reach out to them, inform them. Like my mentor, he's a very busy man, he doesn't have time. I'm the one that updates him. Okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done that. And sometimes if I don't tell him anything, he doesn't write to me at all. Except he does without specific times that he does that because he's busy. And I understand that. So I'm the one to be on in case. I'm the one to be updating him. I should not be pride that, oh, my mentor doesn't have my time. Who am I to don't have my time? You get a point? You are the one to create, maintain that connection and that activity. So those who have mentors, you have mentors, please create this, send because somebody should hold you accountable. You cannot do it because you do this and nobody's there to shout at you or remind you, or like creating a calendar is an accountability tool. It's a self-accountability tool for yourself. So that when you receive the message that you don't do it, let conscience judge you. Like those of you that set alarm clock and don't wake up, conscience will judge you at the end. You get the point? People community, we're having in the people community 125 or 28 or so. There were just 38 here. Remember one thing I told you guys, right? That many people are not going to last. Yes, this is what happened in the journey of success. I start feeling as if God has blessed others more than others. No, others just pay a higher price beyond what others are willing to pay. Others just pay the price of getting up from their comfortable bed, leaving their comfortable blanket, and sitting on a chair from 4 a.m. and listening to one bouncer voice talk, which is difficult, right? For 2 hours, they lose sleep for this. That is what sets them apart. While others are getting over 6 a.m., 5 a.m., you have already done work for 2 hours ahead of them. That is what takes you ahead of many people. It's just simple science before you start doing any complicated success principles. It's just simple science for this, and you get to see it happen. Okay, and the same thing with growth actions. Majority are going to enter the year the wrong way. We are going to enter the year with the right plan, with the right consciousness, with the right potential, and you're going to see massive things happening, right? I have many clients that have me on a retainer basis every year. Like for many coaching clients, end of year like this, I charge 200K to plan for the next year, personal and career and business. This is corporate is different. But for personal planning, like one-on-one planning, like what I'm teaching some of these things, I charge 200K to teach many clients one-on-one. From this November, December, I've been super busy with that, right? So because and many who have seen the benefits before it's December 1st, they are saying that I want to, like I said a few days ago, I want to send my yearly tithes. He was telling me, you know what, I want to pay for us for our station for the next year. They have seen the incredible impact of this that is on their personal lives. Okay, so do that for the mentees. I'm expecting this to come before December 31st. Okay, but don't pile work, they're gonna have more. Okay, significance and dominance key number 2. We're doing 2 today. Okay. When the voice on the inside becomes clearer and louder than the opinions on the outside, you have mastered your life in 2022 and beyond. When the voice on the inside becomes clearer and louder than the opinions on the outside, you have mastered your life in 2022 and beyond. We are only going to get to a more noisy social media. We are only going to get to a more busy and a society full of diverse opinions. That's a fact. We're only going to get to a year whereby you're going to hear a lot of things happening around you. You're going to hear a lot of people are like in Cameroon, people are going to tell you, oh, you cannot make it without connection. You cannot make it when you're not in CBDM. You cannot make it. You're going to hear so many of these things. You cannot make, so people are like, you can't even make it in Cameroon at all. You're going to hear things like that. It's not possible to do this. You cannot make it in Africa. You want to succeed, you're going to hear many of those things. You're going to hear kind of terrible advice on social media. Oh, don't pay tithe. Don't go to church. There's no God. Don't pray. Oh, don't do this. Don't listen to motivational speakers. Don't. You're going to hear so many things. So many things in your industry, in your personal life. You're going to hear things about your friends, even your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You're going to hear lies and good things and whatever. But hey, if there's one thing I want you to achieve as we enter next year is have a clearer voice on the inside. Have a clearer voice. Have a personal conviction. Have a personal conviction about your own life. Have a personal conviction about your own path. Have a personal conviction about your own journey. Have a personal opinion. Have a personal conviction of how your life will turn out 10 years from now, 20 years from now, or at a good old age. Have a personal conviction. This is critical. Very critical. Because you're gonna hear things, guys. If you're already they're already there already. It's already the world. As far as you have access to social media, you're gonna read different types of opinions. Some are good, some are not good. But the most important thing is, what are you saying for yourself? What clear belief system do you have? What clear convictions do you have? That is why having core values and having core principles that binds you as a person, very critical for your journey. Don't be aimless. Don't be principleless. Don't be convictionless. Don't be goalless. If you are that like that, then you are not going to make it. You will be everywhere, and at the end, you are nowhere. People who have dominated in their lives and in any industry, or who have left significant landmarks, check their pattern of living. They were convicted about something. They had principles that they lived by. They had core values that they respected, and they lived by those convictions, no matter what anybody is saying. What are your personal opinions? Are you clear about it? Are you very clear about your purpose? Are you clear about your goals for next year? Are you clear about their growth actions for next year? Are you clear about these things are very important? So that when opinions are coming from the outside, you have a measuring rod, you have a measuring method that you're going to use and reflecting. Like, for example, when anybody proposes anything to me, I always measure it to something I already have written down. This is what my core value says. Should I do it or not? It's as easy as that. You stop being everywhere. That's what I mentioned to you guys. People that say, no, I'm not doing it. They're like, but this looks so opportunity, a huge opportunity. Yes, it's good opportunity. But according to my time plan, I am not doing it now. Not every open door is an open door too. And how do you know that? Your convictions, your personal belief, your action plans, your growth plans, and many things that you have, which makes up your own inside voice, your own opinion, your own conviction, which is critical. As I said, the world is only going to get more noisy. The world is going to get more, there's going to have more people that are going to bring in new concepts and philosophies about diverse things. But people who don't have their own convictions and belief systems and their own voice on the inside will be everywhere. You'll be like, there are Christians that are everywhere. When a new man of God is in town, they go worship there. When the next man of God is in town, they go worship there. Every new church they are there, they're looking for the latest anointing, but their life is not the same. Their life remains the same. They are driven by opinions. They are driven by new things happening, not by the right convictions or principles. I'm saying this because, trust me, a lot of things are going to happen. And for many of you, when you be taking your growth actions, there are some growth actions that you're going to write down that when you start embarking on it, you're going to get a lot of external opinions. What is your own conviction saying critically? What are you saying critically? You need to make sure that this is sorted out. Okay? He too continues. Roots grow before the flowers. Roots grow before the flowers. That's your inside voice. If your inside voice is not strong, your outside voice or the outside opinions are going to negatively influence you. Whether you're starting a new job, you're launching a new business, you're developing a new habit, remember to lay your foundation first. You should be convicted about something. You should have a strong personal voice, a strong principle, a strong core value that you live by. That makes up your foundation, right? That's why I'm challenging you, always start with your purpose. If you're forgetting your purpose as you enter the new year, remind yourself about it. Start with your values. What are your core values that you live by? What are your goals for the year? What are your growth actions for the year? You need these for you to lay a strong foundation and to have a clear inside voice for yourself. Exercise, write down your vision for 2022. Write down your core values for 2022. Yes, you can have your life vision, but then your life vision can be broken down into yearly vision. And here's how I encourage people to have yearly vision. For example, I'm giving an example, and you can make sure you write it out. Okay. Again, mentees, I'm expecting you to send me these things I'm telling you. Okay. Your vision of the business could be, for example, it could be that use date lines and numbers. Okay. So it could be that I like you to, all my clients start this way. By December 2022, by December 31st, 2022, these are all of them started. So I want you to start like that, okay? By December 31st, 2022, let me start with also our workers. Then I'll go to entrepreneurs. But just follow the concept, okay? By December 21st, 31st, 2022, I will be a senior accountant in my company where I currently work. Maybe you're looking for promotion, right? And you're going to do things, you're going to carry out growth actions in your career to get that promotion. Just an example. But let us say so. Maybe now you're just an assistant accountant or a finance clerk. I don't know. But it's okay. By December 2022, December 31st, 2022, you're going to be a senior accountant with a monthly salary of 300,000 francs, and you will have a side business that is generating a monthly income of at least 100,000 francs. And you just touch key areas. Maybe let's assume you're still single, or by that time you're gonna be married, or you have done your court wedding, church wedding, traditional wedding. I don't know. You can touch that part of life. Maybe right now you're living in a one-room house. You want to move to a two-room house or an apartment. Put that there in that vision. Maybe you want to travel abroad for the first time. Put it there, right? That's how you form your vision for the year. So like you're taking your core growth actions, your core growth action results for the year, for the 12 months, and you form your vision for that year. You write it down. And you write it where you can see it consistently. Okay? So it must not be short. It can be even like a full paragraph. Yeah, because you have to make sure that you touch core critical things that are pertinent for your growth success, or for your success in 2022. And write down your core values for 2022. For me, it doesn't change. My core values doesn't change. Some people it can change. Like for example, consistency is a core value. Hard work is a core value. Innovation is a core value. Kindness is a core value. Many things, right? It's a core value and so on. So you can write down, okay, maybe based on, like some of you're going to write down core values the first time, or you have noticed that you have been very comfortable in the last couple of years and you want to set drastic core values for yourself. Okay, you can write it down and make it work. Okay, all right, so those are the two stuffs that I plan for us to handle for today, and then we can go to chit chat, and I would love questions around these two key things. Where are you confused? What are you worried about? What do you think is seemingly looking difficult before you enter the year? How can we sort that out? We need to sort that out now. Okay, and ask questions about the exercises. Are you finding difficulty in doing it in a particular way? Raise it. As we lay this foundation, I will go through the other, I think, 15 keys I have down. It's gonna come down to a well-structured, intentional, successful life that you can have come 2022. Okay.